We are going to talk today about Kapwing. Yes, it's pronounced Kapwing. I thought it was Kapwing for so long. It's Kapwing. So we have Robert here from Kapwing. Robert, would you introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So yeah, my name's Robert. I'm a senior content strategist here at Kapwing, and I've been working pretty closely with Kristina these last few weeks as our lead education consultant. So it's awesome to be here, and thanks so much for showing off Kapwing.
Awesome. So has anyone here used Kapwing before? Have you heard of it? Have you seen it? Um, this is the epic ebook of web tools and apps. If you haven't seen it, see it, look at it. It's amazing. And I have two pages here about Kapwing. So I'm just going to move this over here. So I'm going to lose you for a little while. So I have a demonstration examples, how I've used it, and then a webinar I did earlier. And I mean, these are all the tools. There are like 50 tools of Kapwing and all their features. So it's just so amazing. And I love the fact that it is one of AASL's best websites and apps. So that is a really great indicator that this is an awesome tool for us to use with our students. And especially now, number one, we're a very visual society. You know, we learn a lot by seeing, we learn a lot by multimedia, and also now with remote learning, we really are visual people. So I know Deb is here. Deb, say hi, Deb.
Hey, everybody. I'm
All
on
right.
my iPad, not the computer.
Deb is always my wing person. I'm going to say wing person. So Deb is here, and Deb is going to help me out tonight, I'm hoping, because Deb always helps me out.
Do the best that I can.
She's one of those dependable people who's always there. So it's good to have friends like Deb. So I'm going to show you a little bit about Kapwing, and then Robert's going to tell you some things about it as well. My favorite, so I'm going to actually get into Kapwing right now. And so this is my workspace. This is my workspace. And they're just, you know, it could be pretty overwhelming because there's so many features of Kapwing, but I'll tell you my favorite thing, I'm going to just show you my favorite thing is making collages. So here's a collage that I made. And I really feel like I can make a lot of impact with visual. So this is just a collage that I made with Kapwing. I did a screencast of the epic ebook and the digital librarian survival toolkit, and then I put them both in Kapwing, added the text, made it square, and now I have a lot of bang for my buck. I have a lot of real estate, a lot of information and a little bit of space, a little bit of real estate. So collages, by far my favorite feature. But here is a list of the tools. It's got a meme generator, subtitler. You could put closed captions. They just added the remove background from the image. Resize video for if you're using it for Facebook or if you're using it for Instagram. Add audio, make GIFs, collage maker. I mean, all these things are in Kapwing. Resize the gift, rotate the gift. I mean, things, whenever I'm like, okay, how do I do this one thing? I always come to Kapwing, and especially making videos. I've never been able to find a place where I could take a video and make it a different size. I can never do that. So I can actually do that in Kapwing. So Robert, on that note, why don't you, oh, here's one more. Let's see if this one, oh, yes. So again, a lot of bang for my buck. I have a video, I have text, and I have my QR code that goes to my Wakelet collection. I think this might be, you know, we talk about Bitmoji classrooms lately, and I know there's been a lot, I've been talking a lot about why are we using Bitmoji classrooms in certain instances, but I can understand like this would be really cool to give kids and put that on a shelf in a Bitmoji classroom. At least this, they're accessing something, they're watching a little video, that I can understand. So I'm gonna go back here. And Robert, do you wanna jump in a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I share my screen?
Oh, I'd love to. Go ahead.
Okay. It looks like you have to enable screen sharing. I can put it up there.
Oh, let me stop my share screen. Okay, and now you can go.
Okay, let me try again here. It says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
Might be a quick setting.
Yeah, it's a quick setting because, and let me pause.
Is there a way for teachers to kind of manage their students? So for now, we do have some of ours. You know, Bree, I was listening to you saying how you're, you know, when you move online, it changes things a lot. So we have our teachers that teach video production using WeVideo a lot now, and that kind of gives a little bit of that structure. So I guess I'm interested just to hear that if there's anything there.
Sure. So currently we do logins through Google. So if students have Google accounts, they can just log in using those. We don't have our own login system like usernames and passwords. It is currently only supported through Google and Facebook. We've started to talk about other ways we could enable that, whether it's Microsoft Team logins or things like that. But yeah, so it's all through Google for the most part right now. In terms of like managing your students, we do things on a per workspace basis. So if a teacher was like the owner of a workspace, she can invite students into that workspace to then create things. And anything a student creates while on Kapwing would go into that shared workspace that they're all in together.
Okay.
Beyond that, you could, in theory, have individual workspaces for each student that the teacher would also be a member of and have access to, yeah.
Okay, but the student would have to create that workspace, right, and invite them. Okay, which is fine. And I guess the other question too that is going to come up with you, like for us, the Google login is fine, but we're using Google Classroom. So that kind of easy connection between the two to put in as an assignment or something like that, that's probably something that you're going to come up against if you're trying to work with schools.
Yeah, definitely. We've heard a lot about Google Classroom and given it some thought. We don't directly integrate with them right now, but the Google logins will work to create the accounts.
Okay. Just to put that seed in there, is that something that teachers are going to be looking for, is the ability to do an assignment and to go right into whatever program that they're in. And then I guess just the FERPA and the COPPA compliance. We have in New Hampshire, you know, as small as we are, I think we're second in the country right now, along with Massachusetts and California, in terms of getting companies that are signing, you know, the documentation that says we're safe for kids type of thing. And I'm wondering if you've been part of that, or you may not even be aware of it, but we have to prove that this is okay for kids.
Right, yeah, it's definitely something we've heard a bit about. You know, we're newer to the education space, so we haven't, we haven't, been a big part of that yet, but it's something that we're definitely thinking a lot about. And I know for the most part, in terms of privacy, we check all the boxes. But yeah, it's definitely something that, before signing a contract, we'd have to look much deeper into.
Oh yeah.
Right. Kapwing has done, there's so many users out there in the non-educational setting. And so, but they're award winner in AASL. So they, Kapwing is, you should be in the educational realm, but these are some things, and especially now since remote learning has made it even more important, that I think they're going to be learning a lot. Right, Robert is very interested in learning more, and
we're lucky to have you on our team, Kristina.
I'm trying to connect the dots. I'm trying to be liaison between educators and Kapwing, and speak both languages. But again, we would love to, speak with you at another time, or maybe maybe a Google Meet, or maybe even if you can send an email with your information, because we would like to think of pilot programs. We would like to think of ambassadors, and these are other concerns that are going to become coming up. Some districts might be a little more specific than others, but they're universal concerns.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that we have, ours tend to be, pretty umbrella. We don't nitpick too much,
right.
But we do have to, hit a few buckets here and there. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'll send my contact information. I've got the email that was sent for this webinar, so I'll just send my information.
Awesome. And Kristina, by the way, what do you think of the tool? What do you think of
I'm really interested in it. I've seen it for a while and kind of played around with it for a little bit. It's one of those tools where Every once in a while I see, because I'm active on Twitter as well, and I see, oh, there's something new, there's something new. But now I think you've kind of gotten to the point too, and especially looking at education, that now I'm like, okay, now I can start bringing this to some of my educators. I'm a technology integration specialist, so bringing it to a few of them could be really interesting.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can, Robert, if you can go back to sharing your screen, the question that I saw in the chat was, you and I were collaborating, okay? We were collaborating on that World War I and II Venn diagram, right? But you also said that you can give someone a link and they can make their own copy of it.
Correct.
So can you show us the difference of doing that? How would that work?
Sure. So I'll use this Bitmoji locker as an example. So here so I'll just click export here. Make sure, so let's click export here. This will process. Actually, maybe I should grab something I've already made so we don't have to process it.
You can go back into the template, the Venn diagram one if you like. We're in there, right?
Oh, right. Okay. I'll remove the video so that it exports quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Are there any other videos in here? Okay, I think all the videos are gone.
So while he's looking for that, I just want to throw out there, I'm Christy, I'm in West Texas, and in different parts of the country, obviously we have different situations. Ours is that our students started the school year face-to-face, but we have the option, and so at our high school, probably 30-ish% of our students are online. In our AP and pre-AP classes and some of our electives, that means our teachers are teaching both face-to-face at the same time that they have virtual students in a synchronous format. I love the ability here to collaborate, because this is going to give our students in the classroom and at home the opportunity to interact more than they would in really any other format or project.
You bring up a really, really good point. It's connecting the students at home, making them feel a part of something with the students in class. So that is a great idea. Again, I've seen Kapwing for a while, but I don't think there has been a better time for a tool like this to really make an impact on education than now when we need something like it.
And I'm glad that you mentioned earlier that it was an AASL tool, I guess 2018, because that's where I was first introduced to it. And so I've seen it some, but haven't had the chance to play around with it very much. I think, now, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, does the name come in part from a Calvin and Hobbes comic strip?
Yes.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So I am in now Kapwing, and let me see if I could share my screen now.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing, yeah.
It's okay, and let me go here and let me do share screen, and let me go back here and let me press share screen. So now I'm in here. You see the Bitmoji virtual locker template?
And this is now a copy of the one that I sent you. You see the share button up there at the top of the screen next to export. Now, if I were to have sent you the link from in there, you'd be in the project collaborating with me in real time. But since I already finished the project and sent you the final link and you clicked edit, then you have a fresh copy to work on.
Okay, so again, let's go over that. If you have something that you're working on and you want to collaborate with someone, you press share, and then you copy this link, and it says right here, people with this link can edit. That would be sharing it. To make a copy of it, you're going to go to export, and this is being processed right now because I haven't been able to process my copy yet, so it may take a little while. But when you go here, then you'll be able to, when you share it that way, the other person will get a copy of it. So that's the difference.
Exactly, yeah.
That's
so you can kind of think of it as a template almost. Once you've made the final copy, what you're sending everyone is a template to work off of, but they're not editing your original work.
Right. Is that clear to everyone? Do you think there might be like another way to make it easier to understand? Like the share button, should that be like a collaborate maybe or something like that? Again, we're looking for ways to make it more user-friendly with terminology, with interface and those kinds of things. Do you think collaborate should be here instead of share? And you could just jump right in. Let me go in the chat. I think that makes sense. That would be helpful. So maybe, again, maybe that would be, because share, I feel like I'm just sharing it with somebody.
Right.
Yeah, but share in the Google ecosystem also means that they could view, they can comment, they can edit. So
Right.
if you're looking at it from the educational perspective and those ecosystems, share gives you a lot of different options. And I would suggest taking a look at those different places and looking if you can match that, because if they hit share and it's not what they expect, then they're going to get frustrated, because then they're going to have to look somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right. Because I'm not thinking, like, I would think here, make copy or send copy, collaborate, right? I don't think I would think to go to export to send that copy over.
So what you may want to do is, again, if you're looking just at the educational world and I know that you're kind of straddling here, which is fine, but you want to have at least somebody that is experienced on that side to take a look at it and say, this is what would be expected, and then you can make your decisions and your choices from there. But if you do it from just your gut reaction as opposed to how our students are being trained, and I hate that word, but it's the best way to put it, kind of.
Right.
So yeah, so I'd get some voices in there from some experienced Google users, Microsoft Teams users that have that language down.
Right,
Definitely.
because people in the business world or people who are using this for their own fun and entertainment, they're going to poke around. They're going to know how to use it. But again, if you could use a standardized lingo or something, that, again, that's why I was like, share. I'm like, am I sharing it? Am I just sharing it like a Google Doc with a teacher? And what level of privacy? Again, comment, edit. What am I doing when I'm sharing it?
Yeah, if you ask a 7th grader, they're going to tell you what that share button means.
Right. Exactly. Robert, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to see us get to a point too where, similar to Google, there's different kind of hierarchies once you hit share, so exactly what you're doing before you send that link off. I do like that about Docs, how you can see this person only has comment access, this person has edit access, and kind of having roles within the system is not something we have yet, but I think it could be useful definitely for education.
And that would be actually pretty cool if you could share it with your teacher and the teacher could make comments on it right in the video, and it doesn't affect the video, it doesn't affect the work, but they could put their own comments, again, like a Google Doc where it's on the side. Something to think about.
Sure. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I'm involved right now with another product that is fairly new. Honestly, they're really, I think, in their early cycles here. And what they're doing is they're doing a teacher advisory. So they've put it out free for certain group of teachers, and so that the teacher advisory is giving them all that input back. So that may be something that you could think about too, is if you really want to get a foothold into the education world, is to put it out there as a pilot and say, give us feedback, let's just talk.
Well, look at that. You are already thinking of our next step.
There you go. I know. Yeah, right.
but you are here. You're here now, and so this is step one. We want to see who would be interested, who would be attending, and I think it is a small group, but the right people are here. And Kristina, I totally understand where you're coming from, and yeah, we do need feedback. I'm a tech specialist myself. I'm an educator, but I'm an ed tech librarian, okay? And I was an English teacher. And so I'm looking at this from the education point of view. And again, it's an award winner, AASL, but again, like you said, it's straddling business and straddling education. And so these are the things that I'm trying to bring to the table. And that is a great idea. You're bringing up great points. You're reading our minds. So that's good. Anyone else have any other comments, questions, suggestions?
I have a question. So if our kids are doing a project, but you want each one to do something different, it's not the same template like this one, how would you create that?
So if you want them to make a Bitmoji virtual locker, just say on their own, then, and the template, but you don't want them to use a template?
No, let's say I'm working on my morning news, and each one is in charge of a different portion of the news. And then I want to put that all together. Is that a different tool to use in this?
Oh, that's a great question, Robert. How long is each segment that they would be doing? And how many segments are we talking about?
Probably up to 5 minutes altogether, but it could be one person's doing something for a minute, the next person's doing it for 30 seconds, but then still wanting to create one product within all those different things.
How do you stitch them together? I mean, I would say on the left-hand side, it says add scene, where each one of them can do their own scene. If you want to work on one, I mean, I wouldn't do that with a large group. If you have, let's say you have 5 kids and they're 5 different segments, I would tell each student to add their own scene, and then it's automatically in one project together. If you had a larger group, Robert, any ideas on how you would stitch together projects, you know, maybe 10 different student projects?
Sure. So we actually have a recent feature we added that I think would be perfect for this. Can you click the upload button up there, Kristina?
Yep.
So I would create a project like this, and then just a project for all of the scenes to live in. Actually, you can X this and add a few new scenes. So if we start adding a few new scenes, we could have all of the students upload their individual segment from the news broadcast to a shared workspace like this. And then I could go in and put all of them together into one episode by clicking that upload button, if you click it, and then go to projects. And then everything that's been made by the students in this workspace will now show up in this projects tab, and I could go to each scene and add each of their individual segments. So we try to make it simple to grab anything you've ever uploaded or made and bring it into a new project. Another option, if you had their segments like on your actual device or on your hard drive, you could just upload them each into each new scene and put them all together here. So yeah, there's several ways you could do this though. I mean, everybody could upload individually and then you could go into one project and stitch them together, or you could do a collaborative project where each person has a scene they're responsible for and they upload their piece into that respective scene.
That makes sense. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a really great idea, Celia. Any other comments, questions, suggestions?
This is really nice. Sorry, this is Ruby Shivery. I don't have my camera on because I think my internet's kind of slow. But I really like this as a mom because I have a 10-year-old, almost 11-year-old daughter, and she loves to draw and wants to make it very animated. So is that something that could be possible here as well, that I can show her and she can get all those artwork she's done and put it on like a slideshow video?
Oh, definitely. You could upload, so I could just press here, I could upload, and I mean, now you see my my full screen of junk. And I could just sit there and here's one slide, that's a Google slide presentation, that's a JPEG from that. I could just sit here and upload more images, and then I could put it to music and make a beautiful art gallery.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. She uses KineMaster at this time, but I'll let her play around with this one.
Awesome. All right, so so then we know about the share and the export. We talked today about we just talked a little bit about subtitles, my favorite collages, how we did the template with the Venn diagram. Love the fact that you can just grab YouTube videos. You don't have to do that upload download thing. The layering is very simple. Just delete what you don't want to. I'll delete the map. So easy. And I love the fact that you could crop images and videos, and you could even put in audio, you could put in different elements. I love putting in the text. You could put in, I like putting in different kinds of text. I like to animate it. So I can go in here, click this, animate that text. So I like to do that too. Really, so many things that you can do. And there you go. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back in here. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. We do have your contact information, so when we are ready for the next step, expect an email from us. Okay, if you're interested in learning more or getting more involved, we'd love to have your input. I really think that Kapwing could really do some really awesome things, especially now more than ever. And the remote, I love that, connecting kids remotely and in class together, working on the same projects. Amazing. Robert, you want to end off?
Yeah, just wanted to thank everybody again for taking the time to listen to our presentation today and hear a little more about Kapwing. It's been awesome sharing it with all of you, and getting to hear kind of some of the projects around video and images that you're working on with your students. And that stuff always just really inspires us, make our tool even stronger and even more accessible. So thank you for listening. And if you ever want to reach out, I'd love to hear from you again, or continue to collaborate in the future. You can reach me at robert@kapwing.com, and I'll always get back to you. So just thanks so much for coming.
All right, thank you.